Bad art is not a commonly accepted term. I'll try and explain what I mean. Bad art, with inverted commas, is not the same as bad art without. It's not lack of talent that produces bad art. There's something wilful and deliberate about it, and this is what the inverted commas imply. Bad art is neither accidental nor inevitable. It is a conscious choice on the part of the artist. There are a number of qualities that bad art may possess. It may be clumsy, weak, hesitant, careless, hurried, vague, and so on. All these are generally thought of as defects, but there's nothing to stop an artist actively trying to get these qualities into their art. They may find, say, clumsiness as interesting artistically as another artist finds precision. Bad art is generally made by a good artist. In the late 1940s, Magritte temporarily abandoned his characteristic way of working and started making paintings like these. In place of the patient, deadpan realism that had underpinned his surreal juxtapositions, he started making paintings that were hurried and careless. They were poorly drawn and crudely painted. Rather than the clever and paradoxical compositions for which he had become famous, these paintings show a random and senseless jumble of objects. They lack stylistic consistency, within themselves and as a group. They don't hang together in the way we would expect creative work to do. Bad art is related to kitsch, but it's not kitsch. While kitsch and bad art share an interest in conventional bad taste, kitsch objects often show a high level of skill, whereas bad art tends to avoid being skillful. Rosemary Truckle's lumpy and ragged ceramic works mostly avoid all craft values and recognised technique. They are not trying to impress. Similarly, bad art is related to naive art, but it's not naive. Naive art is honest and straightforward. It shows you the world as it appears to the artist in the best way that the artist knows how. The retired fisherman Alfred Wallace was not trying to be clever or post-cubist when he painted his views of the harbour of St Ives. He was simply trying to get his vision of the ships and the sea and the town down onto the old pieces of cardboard he painted on. So his work is an authentic expression of his life experience. Bad art, though, is anything but straightforward. It's not genuinely bad, which is why you find good artists making it. Instead, it's ironically bad. It doesn't mean quite what it says. Marlene Dumas' painting of Princess Diana looks a bit like fan art, but where the stiffness of the pose, the weak drawing and the disproportions in fan art would be naive, here they function in a different way. They are a challenge, as much to the people who think of themselves as sophisticated gallery goers as they are to the Philistines who think that modern art is all rubbish. Bad art, then, is not inept, but a knowing imitation of ineptness. For this reason, there's often some detail. Look at the way the fabric of Diana's dress is painted. Some detail that makes you hesitate before dismissing it all as awful. Bad art aims at bathos. It is anticlimactic. It punctures and deflates, particularly art world pretension. Marlene Dumas' painting punctures the pomp and the glamour and the authority of official portraiture that the original photo was meant to convey. Similarly, Magritte's bad paintings deflate the whole surrealist project. The unconscious is not a source of truth or insight in these paintings, but something senseless and stupid. Bad art, as I've been describing it, has a history. It comes into being with modernism and has accompanied new art ever since. We don't think of him that way now, but in the 1860s, when Manet exhibited Déjeuner-sur-l'herbe at the Salon in Paris, he became, for a large section of the salon-going public, a laughingstock, because his work looked so bad to them. The drawing was weak, the colouring crude, the perspective mishandled. He was vague where they felt he should have been clear, and he seemed incapable of properly finishing a painting. What happened to Manet has happened to numerous artists since. At first the work is rejected because it's bad. vulgar, talentless, crude. Then, after a period of time, people come to accept it, and by this time there are generally younger artists who are even worse. Later again, and the work is seen as beautiful. We now look back at those 19th century Parisians and wonder what they were thinking about when they laughed at and rejected Manet's work. The other key moment in the history of bad art is conceptualism. When Marcel Duchamp proposed a urinal as a work of art, he ushered in a new era when manual skill became unnecessary to art. Artists no longer had to make anything. They could simply find an object and put that forward as a work of art. Imaginative and intellectual skill remained important, but not manual skill. The transdisciplinary drift of much art education in the 21st century has exacerbated this situation. Bad art in this context is the performance of the loss of skill. Without any clever concepts to support it, bad art shows us what a de-skilled art world actually looks like. I've been arguing then that bad art is not actually bad, it only looks that way. It may not always be easy to like, but it performs a valuable function in the wider ecology of art. It does not glorify anything or raise anything up. Instead, it brings down. It reminds us that the sum of human achievement is not that much really, and so it acts as a check on the narcissism of the species. And it is an ongoing critique of whatever the art world at any given moment thinks is high and mighty. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and visit my channel Think of a Picture, where you'll find lots more short, thoughtful videos on art. Thank you.